Hey guys, it's Danielle. We are going to continue our series, Contract to Close. So we talked about submitting an offer, and then once your offer is accepted, the timelines that you need to be aware of. We talked about earnest money, and then last time we talked about the due diligence period. So today we're going to talk a little bit more about inspections and what happens with the results of that inspection. So a general thing to be aware of is the buyer does pay for these inspections. So depending on the square footage of the house and the inspections that you need, that could run anywhere from $400 or $500 to over $1,000. And that is money that you're not going to get back. However, that is the best money that you could spend, right? Because you want to know exactly what you're getting into with the specific property. You want to have an understanding of the condition of the property and just make sure it is what you want before closing. So in this scenario, you've done your inspection and you've got your inspection report back, and there are several repairs listed within that report. So every single report is going to have items, right? Even new construction, right? The inspector's job is to test all of the appliances, check the systems, etc., and list out all of the potential repairs or defects with the home. So once we receive that report back, and we will receive all of the reports back during due diligence, we will sit down, go over the findings, and decide which items we want to negotiate with the seller. So of course, we're looking for safety concerns, major repairs, right? We're not going to ask for every single item on there, but we are going to review it and decide on which ones are most important to you and present what's called an amendment to address concerns to the seller after we receive this report. So there's really two ways that we could submit this amendment, if you will. The first would be that we ask the seller to complete the repairs that are important to you by a licensed professional. We're going to ask that they provide documentation, receipts, etc., and that those items are completed, 3 to 5 days prior to closing, so that you as the buyer can send your inspector back out to the property and do what's called a reinspection to make sure that the repairs were not only done, but also done correctly, right? The other thing that we could do in lieu of these repairs is we could also ask the seller for a credit or a price reduction. So, if we look at the report and it makes more sense for you as the buyer to complete the repairs post closing with your preferred contractor or vendor, we would ask the seller for whatever amount that would cover that work. So if we go that route during due diligence, we may also choose to get estimates on the work to make sure that the money that we request from the seller is going to be sufficient to cover those costs. And something to be aware of, depending on your loan type, is there is a maximum amount of money that we can ask for from the seller. So it could be 3%, maybe 6% of the purchase price. And if we've already requested, for example, money towards closing, we just need to be aware of that when negotiating these repairs. So again, all of this is done during your due diligence period, which again is your period to do your inspections and honestly to walk away for any reason whatsoever. So if the report is just too much, if there's major structural concerns or just too many repairs needed, or if the seller does not agree to our repair list, right? If we can't come to a win for both parties, then we can send a termination and we can walk away, no questions asked during this period. So that is what to expect as far as repairs and how they're negotiated. And from here, we're going to talk about the next two big timelines, which would be your appraisal and financing contingencies. So you guys stay tuned and I'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.